Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of our brand new show, the Open Mic Wrasslin. And today's episode is really special because with us is our special guest. He is the owner of Kush and Vibes Podcast, the host of Kush and Vibes, and he's from New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my very good friend. He's been watching wrestling since 1998. And I bring to you Mr. Kush and Vibes. Hey man, how are you doing today?
Man, what's up? That was an awesome intro, man. Let me say, awesome intro. I've never been introduced like that.
You're just too nice. You're just too nice. You know, I hate rewinding and listening to myself. I just cringe. But thank you for saying those awesome things.
I love it, man. I love it.
Thank you.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Oh, all good, man. But craziness is going on all around us. I mean, the Fiend, sure. Bray Wyatt, just got released from the WWE yesterday. Let's just start off the discussion with the elephant in the room. What are your thoughts on his release?
How is that possible?
I know.
I think my first thought when noticing Bray Wyatt alone, aka with the Fiend, was released from WWE. I don't know what they're gonna do with Alexa Bliss. She's gonna be released next? I would assume so, right?
That's a very good question. I actually got a comment under my post about Bray Wyatt, and that person wrote that what WWE basically did was they took the Firefly Funhouse from Bray Wyatt, they gave it to Alexa Bliss, so now they basically own the rights to the Firefly Funhouse, but they don't have Bray Wyatt and they don't need him because they got his concept. So maybe she will continue doing the Firefly Funhouse and whatever she's doing, the craziness, until Bray Wyatt's back, I guess. I don't know. I feel like he will be back. I feel like it could very well be. It could do something with his mental health because Brody Lee passed away and he's not been showing up since then. So I feel that it could do something with his mental health. But as you probably know, Dave Meltzer reported that it had to do with budget cuts, and the reason why he was let go was budget cuts. Do you buy that? Do you think that WWE would let go of such a prized commodity because of simple budget cuts?
Well, anything can happen, right? Because now we have, I think his name is Nick Khan.
The most hated person in professional wrestling.
Right. Yeah, I feel like anything is possible. I feel like if you are, it doesn't even matter if you're being utilized, or even because I think the Fiend's merch was selling, right?
It was selling.
Like, it was still selling at a decent rate.
Definitely, it was hot.
So I don't think it's more about whether they utilize you a lot or too little. It's just a matter of budget cuts. But I do believe, Bray Wyatt has played this, this awkward, weird, horrifying, to be feared character. You know what I mean? For so long, like even before the Fiend days, when he was trying to take this persona to be not the next Undertaker, but the next fearful, character in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Am I right for saying that? Like, I feel like I'm right for saying that, right?
You're right.
I feel like certain people can handle it and certain people can't. It comes with, and also comes with reinventing yourself. Now, I feel like characters in WWE have to reinvent themselves more now than they used to, versus back in the 90s and early down, because
definitely
a lot of people loses interest quicker now. Like, if your character isn't catching within the next maybe month or so, people are losing interest. They don't want that. It doesn't matter how many times we shove it down our throats. We don't want it. You know what I mean? Roman Reigns is a perfect example of that. A heel Roman Reigns, I believe a lot of people love. People still hate Roman Reigns because he was shoved down our throats so much week after week after week after week. Yeah. But heel Roman Reigns, I think people can tolerate him now. His promos was gotten better. He's sure of himself more now.
I agree.
Versus Vince McMahon, like, here, this is our guy. You're gonna love this guy.
It doesn't work
week after week.
Yeah.
So I think the problem with Bray Wyatt is, I do believe his mental was affected greatly.
Mhm.
I believe his mental was affected greatly. I do believe that. I wish him well. I wish things, work out for him. I wish things, because aside from, the obvious AEW, but aside from, wrestling, like I genuinely wish his mental health, I wish he gets well. That's it. Because that's more important than, what you're going to do next. You need to take care of yourself. So, that's just my thought.
Very, very well said, actually. The most important thing right now is his own mental health. And we can only, as fans, wish the best for him and hope that, the future holds something good for Bray Wyatt as he deserves. But definitely a very shocking release. But during this conversation, you raised a very good point about characters and how it's so important in WWE right now for superstars to reinvent themselves and bring in new characters. I feel like one of the reasons why it was so much easier back in the day was because we had larger than life athletes. They did not really need a character. They were just, they were just these majestic figures by themselves. They did not need any funky characters, most of them. But now we have a lot of guys, and no offense to anybody, but they look similar to each other. Their physique, their body type, very, very similar. We have a lot of smaller guys now. And that is why, in order to stand out, now they don't do steroids, there's less drugs, so obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for them to stand out, it's definitely needed. But since we were talking about Bray Wyatt, I mean, the Wyatt family was an incredible tag team, one that we're dearly, and we're not going to have it back ever again because of Brody. Brody's not here. It's never going to be the same. Even if, the band comes together, we're going to miss Brody a lot. So
rest in peace, Brody, man. Rest in peace, Brody. I think real quick, because I believe we were talking about the Fiend and Alexa Bliss as well.
Yeah.
I think the Fiend character, they have the rights to the Fiend character, they meaning WWE. I think now what they can do instead of depending on how lazy the writers are in the room,
you never know.
Let's just be honest. Sometimes WWE writers can be lazy.
Oh, definitely.
It can be because it's. I guess they're trying to portray more the children and the preteens now than more the adults.
Now they have a little robo that does the intro for Raw and all that stuff. I mean, how much kiddish can you get? That's really lame.
Exactly. But I don't want to bash WWE because, like I said, I grew up on WWE. The first wrestling TV I ever seen was WWE. But going back to the Fiend, what I was trying to get at is that they instead of building a character, they can take a scary character. They could take a scary character. I mean, somebody who's tall, because this man likes tall athletes. They could take an athlete. Instead of building his character, they can make a storyline of, okay, well, now you're the Fiend. So go out there, destroy things, you know what I mean? And maybe in like a month or two, we may reveal who you really are. And that's who you'll be, So it give us, maybe this will give us a good storyline for like a month and a half, so we don't have to worry about writing too much. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. I mean, WWE's grown past your normal every Monday Night Wars and, Friday night SmackDown. They've grown past that. So it's they have to do more. They're expected to do more. So less writing does help out, people in the writing room.
That's
higher up. So that's just my thought. I could be wrong. They could take the Fiend and keep it on Alexa Bliss, and then once they're tired of her, just let it go. Like I said, anything is possible. I'm just thinking as a perspective from their writers' room is like, okay, well, if we take a tall athlete and just put the Fiend mask on him and have him destroy every opponent he has for the next month or so, that'll kill writing. That's less things we have to spend time on until we figure out. Then that's just my thought.
Definitely, no, that's a very good thought. And I can already imagine Twitter wrestling universe blowing up when they see another Fiend, a fake Fiend. I'm pretty sure they're gonna call him a fake Fiend, and there's gonna be a lot of angry marks, and not just marks, but there are gonna be a lot of angry people from the industry. Yesterday, Mickey James, Chelsea Green, they all took to Twitter right after Bray Wyatt got fired, and they expressed their anger in one way or the other. I mean, it just makes me think that marks do not only exist among the fans, but also in the wrestling, celebrities universe itself. It's
for sure.
It's definitely, yeah, it's weird with internet and Twitter. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about tag teams, I'd like to know, who are some of your most favorite tag teams till date?
Recently, so as you know, I don't recently I've been giving AEW more of a chance over WWE.
Okay.
Well, if you guys didn't know that, yes, I am. I'm that person. I am an AEW fan. Takes nothing away from WWE. I love WWE for the rest of my life, but it's just when something isn't, when you grow out of something, you don't, you appreciate it, but you're just like, let me give this a chance. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So right now in I like right now in AEW's tag team, the development. They come in Scorpio Sky,
right?
And what's that other guy's name? I forgot his name, man.
I don't know.
Darby Allin.
I don't. That's all right. That's all right.
I'm drawing a blank.
Wait, I don't blame you, because AEW stars are that people. You don't, it's
man, don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, come on. It's like you watch AEW, you don't remember the star's name. I mean, come on.
Oh man, what's your problem, man? I thought you was going. I can't blame you. I get it. I get it. But come on. Like, I don't know. What are your actual thoughts on AEW?
AEW. I feel until yesterday, I felt like it was a retirement house for a lot of WWE stars and talents that WWE didn't need. But now, after yesterday, if they did release him due to budget cuts, I feel like AEW is a great fucking platform for stars who get fired from WWE for no reason whatsoever, and they have a big platform to prove themselves and prove to the WWE writers that they are capable. So I feel like, I mean, it's a good platform for stars who are underutilized by the company, the WWE. But as a consumer right now, I'm not enjoying the AEW product. I'm not, and I'm not going to enjoy it until Brandy Rhodes apologizes to me. So that's a different story for a different day.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Jeez. Come on, Brandy.
Of course.
Apologize.
Well, there's another reason why I'm not tuning into AEW, and that's because Brandy Rhodes' husband, Cody Rhodes, is a scared cat, and he did not have the guts to accept a challenge for the TNT title by my good friend JTG. JTG called him out in public last year numerous times on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere. He called Cody Rhodes out. He even put out a dream match card with the graphics and all. And he said, I want to challenge Cody Rhodes for the TNT title, back when he was doing the open challenges. And Cody Rhodes never got back to him. And I'm pretty pissed about it. I mean, JTG is hands down the hottest independent wrestling industry. Why would you not accept his challenge?
Do you think he was offered a contract for that?
No, I actually
he just didn't.
No, they AEW never got in touch with JTG now.
So you think it's personal?
I think it's personal. Maybe they know that JTG is a good friend of mine and they didn't want to get him on the show.
Oh,
no, I'm joking.
Okay, so
but you never know. You never know how they function. But I'm pretty pissed about it. To say the least. I mean, JTG and Chad Gaspard, RIP. I mean, the Cryme Tyme is hands down the most. I don't even have words to describe how underutilized, overseen that tag team was. People just didn't care. The management didn't care. They were putting their asses on the line every single day, every single week, and people didn't appreciate them enough. They did not. I mean, tell me about it. You've been watching wrestling for years now, 1998, and you've seen a lot of tag teams come and go. Cryme Tyme, what are your thoughts on this tag team?
I second that because I do feel like Cryme Tyme as a tag team whole were very underutilized. I feel like some of their segments. I remember they had a segment with the reunited of DX back when Triple H and Shawn Michaels had this Spirit Squad, little feud that they were doing, and it brought DX back together. Not my favorite moment, but they have some of my favorite moments in it. But they had a segment with Prime Time with Cryme Tyme. I'm sorry. And I think Shawn Michaels and Triple H were trying to get tickets to come back into the show because they got kicked out. And Cryme Tyme had the tickets or whatever. And that was like a little segment that they had. And even then, like I was more happy to see Cryme Tyme because I hadn't seen them in so long. And I was like, oh shit, they're about to do something. They're about to tag up with DX. And they did nothing with them. Like it was just, you know what I mean? It was just, they were just there for that short little moment. I'm just like, man, like what the hell? Like,
right.
Because I hate to see dope as good performers not able to perform at their full potential.
True.
You get what I'm saying about that?
Very true.
And this happened to the best, but it's just like, yo, they were different. Like they had it. Like it was just like, how could you fumble the ball with them? Literally, you fumble the ball with great performers. Because aside from Shad, JTG is a great top performer.
Definitely.
Top performer. So was Shad, but I'm just saying, it's just like, I don't know. And I think they had a feud with each other, Shad and JTG.
Yes, they did. 2010.
It was just like, and it was just like, man, like come on, like I don't know.
It hurt me when I watched that feud between Shad and Jay. That feud hurt me more than Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy's feud did because I know how good friends Shad and Jay are, and they would never actually fight like that. So I mean, that was like self-destruction of the Cryme Tyme. It was not needed. It was very called for. It was just not needed. But speaking of their character, I mean, WWE gave them a very thug kind of character, where they would come out, they would steal things, they would sell those things. A lot of fans and people, they criticize Cryme Tyme for basically not portraying their culture and their people in the best way possible. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think that Cryme Tyme was at fault over here?
No, I don't think they were at fault. I think that, like I said, the writers and for them were a little fucked up because it's like, come on, like why would you try to portray our people like that?
I know.
Why would you do that? Like for what reason? Shad doesn't steal, like, you know what I mean? JTG doesn't steal. Like there are overcomers, there are, top performers. You can't think of nothing else to do with their tag team. Like nothing else at all. They have to go around stealing people. And I think it was a little, controversial. Like, it's like out of all the things you could have did with them, that's what you went with. Why?
And
you understand what I'm saying?
It's a problem that still exists in the WWE. I mean, if you look at a recent tag team, I can give you an example of the recent one. It's Mustafa Ali from Pakistan got teamed up with this guy from Saudi Arabia. Why did they get teamed up together? They had no history together. Mustafa Ali was doing the retribution thing, and that guy was doing his crown jewel thing, whatever he was doing in Saudi Arabia. Why did they get paired up together? It's because they both have similar backgrounds. Then you look at all those lucha people, then you look at, I can go on and on about it. You can look at Street Profits, you can look at so many people. WWE pairs people up depending, based on their ethnicity, based on their, what their racial background is, what their nationality is. And that's where the problem lies, because they are still so orthodox in their thoughts. They just want to pair people up for the ratings. Oh, I'm gonna make a stable out of Indian people because that's going to give me viewers from India. No, that's wrong. Why would you do that when you can spice things up and make a very interesting team of, let's say, an Indian guy such as Jinder Mahal and an African American guy? There are so many talented people out there who would do something amazing with the fusion like that. But no, WWE every single year, every single time they're forming a tag team, it's just the same old route of bringing people of the same ethnicity, bringing people of the same nationalities together just for the ratings. And it's stupid. It's very stupid. And speaking of,
real
yes, please go ahead.
I had a comment on Jinder Mahal. By far to this day, I feel like one of the best WWE championship runs I've ever seen. One of them I've ever seen. Like I like the way the title sits on him. I like the way I like his heelish run.
Yeah,
I like the way he's I'm not so far like I love the culture that I love his culture, but I feel like if he had a choice, he probably would have did something different, more more him maybe. I mean, if not, that's cool. But like, I mean, it was just he had that it factor. He has that it factor, and like, it's just like I love to see him on TV. I was like, yo, I've seen Jinder Mahal in the past. When he was way back in the past.
Yeah,
and to see him now, like the way when he had that title run, I was like, yo, this is whoa. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
He had looks, he had everything going about him. That entrance, that was amazing. And now Bollywood boys are gone, and Jinder Mahal is doing things with a few bunch of people from India. Just because they're from India, they've got to pair it up together. And I'll tell you, this is the worst fusion ever. Because I mean, first you had Jinder Mahal doing the thing with Sikh, like the Sikh culture. He was wearing a turban and all of that. And when that did not work, they had him, wear the scarf and do the Om thing, Om chants and whatever talk about meditation and yoga. That's because they felt like talking about Om and Hinduism might work, and that would, bring up the merch sales and whatnot in India. That didn't work either. So they had him put on the shelf, kept him aside. The same old WWE right now. I mean, they're experimenting, with the Indian tag team right now with Jinder Mahal and all those people. I think it's not going to work. I think it's going to be another fail because it's the same old thinking, the same old way that nationality, ethnicity, bring them together, make it work somehow. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen. But coming back to the Cryme Tyme, I spoke to both Chad and JTG about their characters, and what they had to tell me was that it was Vince McMahon's idea.
Of course.
It was Vince McMahon's idea, and the way Vince McMahon basically convinced, I believe Shad was who told me, who convinced Shad to go ahead with the plan was that he wanted to portray them in a good light. Ultimately, what he wanted them to do was do all these things, do the stealing, do the selling, and still get cheered by the fans somehow. That's what they wanted them to do. Basically, a way to tell them that, hey, you're still going to be stealing, you're still going to be doing all this tough stuff, but I'm going to make fans cheer for you, and that's going to put you in a good light. And that's how they were convinced to do it, and they did it. And Shad, I believe, was like, yes, we were stealing, but we were giving it back to the fans. I think this is something that JTG said, that we're giving it back to the fans, so we're making fans happy. And that's how Vince McMahon's brain worked. And it's definitely very, very controversial character that would not work right now. But one tag team that people compared the Cryme Tyme to is the Street Profits. Do you see any similarities between the two as well?
Street. Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, other than obviously the size. But I think Street Profits have its own. They have their own little, little swagger. Like they have their own little, their little characters where it's just like they're not scared to. They're not just trying to thug it out, even though that's not this Cryme Tyme's fault, as we know. But they're not scared to be themselves and do little funnier skits and stuff like that. Not always, sometimes they stick to the script, but you could tell like sometimes they're really like just doing them on the low. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just they're very fun to watch. Street Profits, I love Street Profits. Shout out to them. Shout out to Street Profits, man.
Awesome. So since you're from New Jersey, you obviously know a lot about New York, New Jersey, tri-state, and you know a lot about Brooklyn as well, I can assume.
Yeah, I know a little bit about Brooklyn. Not too much, but I know a little bit.
Well, Shad and JTG both are from Brooklyn, and as a New Jersey native, what did you feel about when you first saw the Cryme Tyme? Did you get any Brooklyn vibes from them, or did you not feel it?
No, I got New York vibes from them. I'll tell you why. It's because when I first seen them wrestle, they was Shad wrestling in Tim's. And if you know anything about if you know anything about New York, man, anybody from New York, if you know anything about them, a pair of fresh Tims, a New Yorker has to keep it on them. He has to keep a fresh pair of Tims on him, no matter what. I bet if I could ask Shad how many pairs of Tims he had, it would be well over 100. Has to be. Every time he wrestled, I think he had a fresh pair on. Had to.
Oh yeah.
That's just a New York thing.
That's very interesting. And Shad was a very interesting man. He did achieve a lot of success in wrestling, obviously, even after the WWE.
Yeah, for sure.
But then he was trying to get into Hollywood. And I believe the recent film that he actually did a little cameo on was the recent Birds of Prey film, which Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. Yeah, so he did. He did achieve some success there, and I do believe that they moved to California just because Shad wanted to pursue his Hollywood career. It's really sad that what happened. Yeah. But do you remember where were you when you came to know about the news of Shad's passing, that he got lost? And when he got lost, did you feel like there was still hope that he would come back?
Yeah. So Shad did do Birds of Prey. I've seen that, but before I got the news, I was watching. I think it was a Kevin Hart movie. I think it was Think Like a Man. Think Like a Man or Think Like a Man 2. One of those. He was in one of them for like not that long period of time, but he was in one of those.
Yeah.
I was like, oh snap! Look, I know that Cryme Tyme. Like, you know what I mean? Just like that. Like that. And I happened to, after I finished watching the movie, I went to get something to eat. And as I'm heating my food up, I'm scrolling on my phone, and I see the news, and it said, I keep seeing like his face, that he was able to save his son, and they were swimming. I'm like, what? This got to be fake. So I keep scrolling. I'm like, yo, this is really real. Like, he really got lost at sea, and it happened. And it recently happened to another child actor from the 90s. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bad with names. But I can't remember her name. But she recently passed away too, the same way. So when I saw it, I'm like, yo, is this real? So then, I wait a couple of days. What was it, like a week before they announced it? Yeah. Where they said, and I was just like, oh man, nah, no way. So I went to look up every movie he's been in, and I literally sat and I watched it. Just watched it.
Really sad.
Had to, because that was the way I could pay, tribute to him. Because I didn't know what else to, do, and I already know his family and stuff is mourning. So I'm like, yo, let me see what he's been in, because I know he's been in quite a few movies. So let me see what he's been in. So I Googled what movies he was in. He made an appearance in, and I just watched him.
A month before Shad passed, we were in regular touch. We did the Don't Rush challenge that was very popular back last year. Everybody was doing the Don't Rush challenge, so we did that with Shad. And I believe it was just 2 weeks before his passing is when I did an Instagram live interview with him, and I interviewed Shad. And I wasn't feeling too well that day. I was a little under the weather, or whatever. Wasn't feeling too well. And at that time, Instagram only allowed you to stay online on live video for an hour, and then it got disconnected. Rejoin. So that time we kept talking, and then Shad started talking about Chris Benoit and how he got to know about his passing, and when they were driving and all this stuff. And it was about to be an hour, and I said, Shad, you have so many stories, it's so exciting. I wasn't feeling too well, in me. So like, Shad, let's talk about it next time. When you're back on, let's schedule something, and let's talk about it in the second round of our interview. And Shad was like, no, let's keep going, because you never know when I'm so busy or something. Let's keep going. I'm like, yeah, Shad, all right, keep going. And we did 10 more minutes, and I was like, Shad, let's do it some of the day. I know you're busy and all that stuff. So he was like, all right, cool, let's just have the day. And he was so nice in the interview. He brought in his wife, he brought in his kid, he brought in his dogs, his cats, introduced us to everybody. And after the interview got over, he was like, AJ, it was so much fun, it was great. We have to do it next week. And I said, yeah, Shad, let's do it next week. And I'm like, this guy is just being too nice, no way he's going to be free next week. No way we're going to be able to do an interview so fast. So, I was like, I'm not going to bother him next week. Maybe I'll wait a month and I'll text him again. So next week it passed. And then the following week, I got a text from a friend. He's like, AJ, I'm so sorry. I just heard about Shad. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? I looked up and I see the Shad's missing. And it was TMZ, and I'm getting goosebumps right now to talk about it. It was TMZ, and I was reading the story, and I read that Araya, his son, he came back, and I thought to myself that, in that time we did not come to know that Shad was the one who saved him. It just said that Araya was able to get back, and I was like, what would have happened was that Shad would have saved him and sacrificed his life. I had this feeling in my head, and I was like, I hope this is not happening. I hope he'll be back. And I was praying day and night. I was really hoping that he'll be back. But no. But yeah, Shad went away the hero he was, and he will always be remembered for it. Always. So
hero, man, hero. Hero.
What are your thoughts on Titus O'Neil getting the Warrior Award this year and not Shad?
I'm not upset at it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I would have loved to see, Shad get it as well. Or they both get it. I don't understand why you have to give just one award, like, especially if people are doing outstanding work day in and day in and day out. So I'm not upset that Titus has that award, is because Titus does a lot.
Yes.
Titus, he goes around, he does he first I'd love to see my people win. So I'm never mad at that. Titus does a lot, though. I don't think people really truly understand how much Titus does. He not only is he a performer, not only is he an actor, he's also an advocate. Titus goes around to different hospitals across the world and does whatever he can. He's very hands-on, like, understand what I'm saying? So I'm not upset at that. Like, I'm proud he got it. I also would love to see Shad get it because he's a hero. He went out being a hero. You understand what I'm saying? So why can't you give them both? Why can't they both have it? You understand what I'm saying? Or, I don't know, man. That's I feel like people may have, different opinions, and that's fine. Maybe I'm not the best to be opinion on that subject, but I do know for facts Titus does do a lot. Shad went out being the great person that he is, So
I love how you are all about positivity and you have good things to say about everybody. Titus obviously does a lot, and I really liked your opinion on this subject. But I feel like Shad, his sacrifice was just too big for any award to do justice to his name. So I feel like this is not going to happen. I'm pretty sure that Warrior Award is cemented there forever. But I would love for an award to be dedicated to Shad, not Shad winning the Warrior Award, but maybe renaming the Warrior Award to the Gaspard Award or something like that, because that's how big of an impact Shad made. And I would love for his name to continue for decades and for centuries and centuries, and people to learn life. Yeah,
because they have Ultimate Warriors fund or something like that on WWE. Right? I'm not. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
So I feel like they need to do that with Shad, like the Shad's Hero Award or something like that.
Because this guy's story should be, living forever. People should learn from his story because he was a true father, a true hero, and his name should continue for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Shad, Chad, we all miss him every single day. But his
Rest in
partner,
peace, Shad, man.
definitely rest in peace. But his partner, JTG, I mean, he's an incredible man himself, not only inside the ring, but in this last year, just this last year, he has released an ebook to help people get biceps like himself. He has created
Awesome.
his own brand of supplements, TMOS, which are made specifically for men and their testosterone problem. And he's also the owner of his Sexy as Hell beard care, which is selling extremely well. And he's also a founder of an audio meme app. So this guy does a lot. And to honor Cryme Tyme and to keep their name running, he's also bringing some kind of a NFT, which I believe is some kind of a digital asset, which he's going to be calling Cryme Tyme's NFTs, and people can actually go and buy them like bitcoins. And
okay, that's dope.
I mean, if you think about it, JTG is a true genius. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
I really like that beer product thing. I might have to hit him up for
Yeah,
for a couple samples. You know,
you gotta do
I
that.
mean?
Yeah, you gotta do that. SAHbeardcare.com is Sexy as Hell beard care. You gotta go there.
Yeah, I had to write that down real quick.
Oh yeah,
JTG, definitely. You will be hearing from me, man.
Definitely.
You will be hearing from me.
Yeah. Next time we catch up, we're both gonna have a lot better beards because of Sexy.
Yes.
Beard care.
You know what I mean? I'm with you 100%.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna buy that product right now.
For sure.
It was fun talking about the Cryme Tyme. This team is just truly amazing, and it will live on forever. I mean, WWE did disband the Cryme Tyme in 2010, but they got back together in 2014, and they're gonna be together forever. That's for sure.
For sure, man. For sure, definitely. Long live Chad. You know, I mean, shout out to JTG, man. Cryme Tyme was a pillar in my childhood. A pillar. I look forward to seeing you guys every week on TV, every Monday night, every Friday night. I love to see you guys on Raw and SmackDown. I love your promos. Your promos didn't look forced. It looked natural, and that's the main thing with me. It was believable. You understand what I'm saying? So shout out to Cryme Tyme, man. Shout out to Cryme Tyme. There will never be another original. It can't even be duplicates because you guys are just special. You guys are special. So shout out to y'all, man.
Right on, brother. Right on. And JTG is doing very well in the independent scene as well. He's also appearing on NWA these days, and he is the VIP company's champion for over 264 days now. So he's doing incredible on his own. So if you guys want to check out JTG, make sure to follow him on Instagram. He always updates his followers, and tune into NWA or wherever else he goes. He's going to go to big and higher places, that's for sure. But guy, it was amazing talking about the Cryme Tyme. But now let's talk a little bit about Kush and Vibes. Would you like to tell our followers what Kush and Vibes is all about and the podcast? I mean, you've had such incredible guests on the podcast earlier.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. So, Kush and Vibes is just simple. It's not. I know you hear the word Kush, and you're like, oh, it must be a smoking podcast. No, it's not about smoking. I mean, you can smoke. It's whatever you want to do. You know, it's more about positivity, man. We're taking the problems that this world gives us, and we're getting over them with positivity and good energy, man. So I'll have some guests on, and I'll have, a couple surprises on. I'll go on live and I'll interview them and just, speak about positivity. What's going on? There's enough negativity in this world. I'm not about that. If you want to be negative, turn the news on,
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just more of I'm more about good energy, man. I
love that.
Seeing people smile. I like people seeing progress. I like having people on that I had last year, and then I have them on this year, and they progress so much from last year that you wouldn't even reckon them. You wouldn't recognize them. You wouldn't believe that they're that person from last year.
Wow.
I mean, it's all about growth. So I'm on all platforms. I'm on, you can listen to my podcast on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. Season 4 will be coming very soon, guys. I don't want to give you a date because then you guys are going to be hounding me. But it's coming very soon. It will be here before the year is out. I promise you that. More visuals, more topics, more funniness, more good energy, and a couple of guests here and there. But Kush and Vibes, that's what Kush and Vibes is about, man. It's about positivity, man. You feel like you feeling down, you feeling angry. Come listen to my podcast, and I guarantee you're gonna smile by the end of it. You know. So.
It's true. Every single word that this gentleman just said is very true. And Kush and Vibes is not about smoking pot or anything. I don't even smoke, and I've been on the Kush and Vibes podcast, and I can tell you, it's all about the positive vibes, the positivity. And I'm so fortunate to have met the wonderful host of Kush and Vibes because he is just so incredible. I'm really grateful to be, like acquainted with you and call you a friend. You are truly special. And
sure, man.
For the people listening to us right now, make sure to follow Kush and Vibes on Instagram and check out their wonderful, wonderful podcast across all the streaming platforms. It's incredible. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was incredible talking to you and reflecting on the life and the career of Chad Gaspar in Cryme Tyme.
I got one more question before I let you go, and I know you got to go because you're a very busy man. First of all, I got to thank you for even allowing me to do this, man. This is one of my first real. Not only my real, but the best fucking interviews I've ever had. You know, shout out to everybody at Wrasslinews. I love you guys. You guys fact checked everything. You guys are real. You guys are humble. You guys are dope as hell. I love you guys.
Thank you.
I follow you guys for a reason. I show love. You're my brother, man. So I thank you. I thank you.
Thank you.
I had one question before I want to let you go. I know you're not too big on AEW, right? I have to ask you this. There has been rumors that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan will be in AEW before the year is out.
Right.
Is that something that's a fact, or do you think that's just speculation?
I asked the same question to JTG, and since this interview has been all about Cryme Tyme, I'm going to give you the same answer that JTG gave to me. He said, I don't know if they're going to debut for AEW, but I would love for them to debut for AEW. And that's because there should not be a monopoly in any industry. And if they are able to enter AEW and shake things up and show WWE that, hey, this is not a monopoly, we are two different brands and both of them are doing very good, it's going to be best for business for everybody. And I feel like this is so true,
Yeah, for sure.
Monopoly. I don't like AEW right now, but maybe I will tune in the future. If the product improves, if Brandy Rhodes goes away, maybe I'll tune in tomorrow.
She's not on television right now. She's not on television.
I don't care. I don't care. I still get the Brandy Rhodes vibe every time I tune in. But no, I love AEW. I've interviewed a lot of their talents. I love the work that they're doing. They're definitely shaking things up. But CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, I hope that they go to AEW. But I don't know. Especially.
So but do you think that CM Punk's hype, the CM Punk hype is over? Because I feel like his hype ran out as soon as he did the Fox News thing with Renee Young and all that.
That was lame. But I'll tell you something.
That was right.
I'll tell you, there are a lot of casual followers that don't care about what he's done in the UFC or in backstage. They just like CM Punk. So AEW is going to get that casual following fan base to their product, because right now a lot of AEW fan base are hardcore fans, not the casual fans. So with CM Punk, that company is going to get a huge mainstream attention and get a huge fan base to the product. So but I honestly myself, I don't see CM Punk debuting at AEW anytime soon. Daniel Bryan, yes, not CM Punk. I don't see it.
Okay. All right. I guess it's a waiting game, man. It's a waiting game.
The next time we meet up, we chat for another one of these sessions. We're gonna see if I was wrong or not. But what do you think? Is CM Punk debuting for AEW?
I think there's a high chance. I only say this because everything has been on Jericho to bring this company to the top. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have Brody Lee, rest in peace. He but I feel like things started on Jericho's back, and they're still utilizing him as much as they did when he first, debuted. So it's still right on his back. And I think Jericho, he's getting older, he's getting tired, he's doing a lot of things behind the scenes. So I think we need another wow factor. I think we need that wow factor because the people that they bring in gets a good hype up. But I haven't seen a hype so big that it's about to destroy the place, you know, and we need that. So I feel like CM Punk needs to debut at AEW, because if he goes anywhere else, he might get a hype, but it won't be as big as AEW. I'm sorry, it just won't be. Daniel Bryan is another one too. I think Daniel Bryan is going to be at AEW, but I think he needs to wait maybe like a year or so, maybe 2 years. You know,
I'll tell
because
you.
Daniel Bryan is still dealing with that head injury he still has. I don't think anybody knows. We didn't forget about that. Every time he slams his head, gets slammed, we're like, "Oh shit, is he okay?" You know. So I don't know.
Well,
but we do need they do need a big impact before the year's out.
Definitely.
So, I don't know.
I do agree. So we'll see who was the right one. Was it you? Was it me? The next time we catch up, and I cannot wait for that. But thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you to our
thank you, brother.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with another very hot topic and a very hot guest. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.